If you've recently been diagnosed with osteopenia or osteoporosis, maybe feeling a bit blindsided or worried, one of the first questions that probably popped into your head is, okay, if I do everything right, how long does it actually take to reverse this? How long until my bones are strong again? You want answers, especially if you're determined to do this naturally, without relying on medications that might worry you. I hear this question all the time. And while we will talk about timelines based on my experience helping women just like you, I need to share something crucial. Focusing only on that number might be setting you up for disappointment. There's a much more empowering way to look at your bone health journey, a way to measure success that doesn't just hinge on a DEXA scan number. Stick with me through this video because we're going to uncover what real success looks like, why bone density might not be the ultimate goal, and most importantly, how you can start to significantly reduce your fracture risk today. You might be surprised by what truly matters. Before I get into my experience with how quickly bone density changes once you start your program, let's start by redefining what ultimately constitutes a successful result with your bone building program. You see, most people understandably view their bone building journey as strictly pass or fail. They think, if my next DEXA scan shows an increase, I succeeded. If it stays the same or it goes down, I failed. It becomes this all or nothing game tied entirely to that T-score. And honestly, that mindset can lead to so much unnecessary discouragement and frustration. It can make you feel like giving up if you don't see dramatic changes quickly, even if you are making significant progress in other vital areas. So today we're going to flip that script. We need to answer 3 important questions to set you up for a much more positive and frankly, more effective journey. First, what does true success really mean when you're working on building stronger bones? And I promise the answer will surprise you. Second, why might focusing solely on bone density actually be missing the most important part of the picture? And third, we'll tackle that timeline question. How long can it take? But also explore why that might be the wrong question to obsess over, and how can you set yourself up to win starting from day one, starting literally today. Understanding these points will fundamentally change how you approach your bone health, shifting you from potentially feeling anxious about a number to feeling empowered by your actions. All right, let's talk about what real success looks like on this journey. Forget that pass-fail pressure cooker for a moment. When you're working to improve your bone health naturally, there are actually 3 distinct ways you can win. 3 signs that you're absolutely moving in the right direction. And the first one might surprise you. Win number 1, losing bone more slowly. Now, I know that slowing down the bone loss doesn't sound as exciting as reversing it, but hear me out. This is a huge victory. On average, after menopause, a woman can lose on average 2% of her bone density per year. Some unlucky folks lose even more, especially in the 5 years after menopause sets in. Think about that. If you implement a dedicated natural program focusing on the right foods, targeted supplements, and proper exercise, and your next DEXA scan shows you lost only 1% in a year, guess what? You didn't fail. You've effectively cut your rate of bone loss in half. That deserves a celebration. Bones rebuild slowly. It's like trying to turn a large ship. It doesn't happen instantly. Often, the very first sign that your program is working is that the ship has stopped drifting so fast. Slowing down the loss is significant progress and proof that your efforts are making a difference. Win number 2, you stabilize your bone density. Okay, so maybe you get your follow-up DEXA scan a year after starting your program, and that number hasn't really changed. Your first reaction might be disappointment. All that work for nothing? Absolutely not. If your bone density has stabilized, meaning it hasn't decreased further, that is another clear win. Congratulations are definitely in order. Why? Because you've halted the decline. Stabilization isn't the ultimate goal, maybe, but it's a critical step, and it indicates progress. Plus, there's something vital happening that the DEXA scan can't see: improvements in your bone quality. Think of your bone structure like the internal scaffolding of a building. Density tells you how much material is there, but quality tells you how well organized and strong that scaffolding is. You could be building stronger, more resilient scaffolding inside your bones, making them more resistant to fracture, even if the overall density number hasn't budged much yet. A standard DEXA scan isn't sensitive enough to pick up these subtle but crucial improvements in architecture, nor can it always detect very small increases in density. So if you see stabilization, keep going. Keep refining your diet, stay consistent with your exercise, manage stress. As long as you're getting healthier and stronger overall, you are progressing, even if the density number takes longer to reflect it. Win number 3. You reverse bone loss, the holy grail. This is what everyone hopes for right from the start. Seeing those T-scores improve, knowing you're actively rebuilding bone. And yes, when all the conditions are right, the right nutrients, the right hormonal balance, the right exercise stimulus, and crucially, enough time has passed, you absolutely can enjoy significant increases in bone density. It's wonderful, it's achievable, and it's what we strive for. But here's the fundamental mindset shift I want you to embrace. Whether or not you see that specific increase on your next scan isn't entirely up to you. It's influenced by so many factors, maybe even, dare I say, the bone gods. Your real job, the part you can control, was never just to magically increase that number. Your job was and is to consistently follow the formula. Your job is to nourish your body with healthy foods. Your job is to take your supplements diligently. Your job is to exercise with superhuman consistency, focusing on getting stronger. Your job is simply to try to live a bit more healthy this week than you did last week. Focus on nailing the process, on taking those positive actions day in and day out. Then let the DEXA results fall where they may. View them as valuable feedback and iterate your program based on the whole picture, not just that one number. Okay, so we've redefined success beyond just hitting a specific density number. We know that slowing loss and stabilizing are huge wins, but still that question lingers. If I do everything right, how much improvement can I realistically expect to see on that DEXA scan, say within a year? You want some numbers, some benchmarks, that's fair. Based on research and my own clinical experience, when women like you take a proactive, consistent, natural approach, it is possible to see tangible results. Some studies, like the well-known Lift More study, which focused on specific high-intensity resistance and impact training, showed an impressive 2 to 4% improvement in bone density in the spine and the hip over just 8 months, compared to a control group that continued to lose bone. Other research, looking at comprehensive natural programs combining diet, targeted supplementation, and exercise, has shown improvements ranging anywhere from 1% to even as high as 11% over a 1 to 2 year period. The exact amount often depends on which bone is being measured, spine, the hip, the wrist, the specific intervention used, and how long that study ran. So the encouraging news here is that yes, natural approaches can lead to measurable increases in bone density, sometimes quite significant ones within that first 1 or 2 years. Seeing a 5 or a 10% increase in a year isn't unheard of when someone is truly diligent. They follow the formula I gave in this video, and their body responds well. But while those numbers offer hope and proof of concept, I want to offer you what I believe is a different and ultimately better answer to the question, how much can I improve? So what's the better answer? Instead of fixating on hitting a specific percentage increase like 5 or 10% within a year, the truly empowering approach is this. Do everything you reasonably can consistently and then see what happens. Think about it. Your real power lies in your actions, not in micromanaging a biological outcome that's influenced by countless variables. Your job, your area of control, isn't to force your bones to hit a certain density score by a specific date. That's like trying to force a plant to grow exactly 1 inch taller by next Tuesday. You can give it the best soil, water, sunlight, but you can't dictate the precise result. Your true job on this journey is to focus wholeheartedly on the process. It's about iterating and taking consistent action. Your task is to nourish your body with bone-healthy foods. Your task is to take the right supplements diligently. Your task is to show up for your exercises and focus on getting stronger and improving your balance. Your task is to prioritize quality sleep, which is crucial for repair and regeneration. Your task is to find healthy ways to manage stress because chronic stress absolutely impacts your hormones and bone health. Essentially, your primary focus should be on getting healthier overall. Get stronger, improve your vitality. When you create a healthier, more resilient you, you're also creating the optimal internal environment for your bones to thrive. Stronger muscles support your skeleton. Better sleep aids repair. Balanced hormones reduce bone breakdown. It's all interconnected. And remember what we touched on earlier. Your bones can improve in ways that go far beyond just density. Their internal structure, their resilience, their quality. These things matter tremendously when it comes to resisting fractures. In fact, you could argue that bone density alone might be one of the least important ways to evaluate your true progress and your actual risk of breaking a bone. So instead of majoring in the subject of chasing DEXA numbers, let's shift our focus to something far more impactful and controllable. And that more impactful focus, it's all about decreasing your risk of fracture. Ultimately, isn't that what we really are trying to prevent? The diagnosis is scary, yes, but the deepest fear is usually about breaking a bone, a hip, your spine, a wrist, and the pain, loss of independence, and potentially the downward spiral that can follow. Now, bone density is one piece of the fracture risk puzzle, absolutely. Denser bones are stronger than weaker bones. But it's far from the only piece, and maybe not even the most important one you can influence quickly. The great news is you can take powerful steps to lower your fracture risk immediately, long before your next DEXA scan. How? First, by optimizing your environment. Most fractures in older adults happen after a fall, and many of those falls happen where? At home. So take control of your surroundings. Eliminate tripping hazards like loose rugs, poor lighting on stairs, clutter in the walkways. Make your home a safer space. To help you with this, I've put together a comprehensive fall prevention checklist. It walks you through room by room, highlighting common hazards you might overlook. You can download it completely free using the first link in the description below this video. Seriously, taking 15 minutes to do this today could prevent a life-altering fall tomorrow. Now let's talk about strengthening your body to prevent falls, even if you do trip. A huge factor in falls, especially as we age, is something called eccentric failure. Now it sounds technical, but it's simple. Eccentric strength is your muscle's ability to control movement while lengthening. When a muscle contracts, it shortens under tension. That's called a concentric contraction. When the muscle lengthens under tension, such as when you lower a weight slowly, that's an eccentric contraction. Think about slowly lowering yourself into a chair or slowly walking downstairs. Your thigh muscles, i.e. your quadriceps, are lengthening under load to control your descent. Many falls happen precisely at the moment stepping down off of a curb or that last step of a staircase when those muscles essentially give out because they lack sufficient eccentric strength. You suddenly drop faster than intended, lose balance, and you fall. But here's the exciting part. You can build this crucial eccentric strength relatively quickly and easily, starting right now. Here's a simple exercise. Find a sturdy chair. Stand up in front of it. Now sit back down, but do it as slowly as you possibly can. Control the entire movement. Feel those thigh muscles working. Aim for 10 repetitions of these super slow chair squats. Try doing it 2 or 3 times throughout your day. Another way is to practice on stairs, always holding on to the railing for safety. Stand on a step, then slowly lower 1 foot down to the next step, controlling the descent with the leg that you're standing on. Then step back up and repeat with the other leg. Go slowly, focusing on that controlled lowering. And if you're already doing exercises like squats and lunges or leg presses in the gym, fantastic. Just emphasize the down phase. Lower the weight slowly and under control. Maybe take 3 to 4 seconds for the lowering part of each repetition. That's where you build that vital eccentric strength. These aren't complicated exercises, are they? But focusing on this specific type of strength targets a major cause of falls. This is something you can work on today and start feeling the difference in your stability and control within weeks, not years. It's an immediate way to take charge and reduce your risk. Building that specific eccentric strength that we just talked about is incredibly important for preventing falls, but developing overall muscle strength offers another powerful layer of protection for your bones. Think of it this way. Strong muscles don't just help you stay sturdier and stronger on your feet, reducing the chance of tripping or stumbling in the first place. They also act like built-in body armor for your skeleton. I often tell my clients to think of their muscles as a bulletproof vest for their bones. It's a powerful image, isn't it? Imagine you do, unfortunately, take a tumble. If you have well-conditioned muscles surrounding your bones, especially around vulnerable areas like your hips, those muscles do 2 critical things. First, they help absorb some of the shock from the impact. Second, they help to distribute the force of the fall over a wider area rather than letting it concentrate on one specific point on the bone. This cushioning effect can literally be the difference between getting up with a bruise and suffering a serious fracture. This is especially important if you happen to be naturally thin. While carrying extra weight isn't ideal for overall health, body fat does provide some natural padding. If you don't have much of that padding, building lean muscle becomes even more crucial to provide that protective sheath around your bones. So while we often focus on bone density, don't underestimate the profound impact that building and maintaining muscle mass has on your overall goal of remaining fracture-free. It's another proactive strategy, another piece of the puzzle that has significant benefit and you have control over, contributing directly to your safety and your resilience. All right, we've covered a lot of ground today, and I really want to make sure that the key takeaways land because you can truly shift how you approach your bone health journey. Let's quickly review the main points. First, remember, there are 3 distinct flavors of success when you're working on your bones naturally. Yes, reversing bone loss is the ultimate goal, the holy grail, but don't discount the massive victories of slowing down your rate of bone loss. Remember, cutting that average 2% annual loss in half is huge progress. And stabilizing your bone density, stopping the decline in its tracks, is also a win. It often takes time to turn the ship, so celebrating these milestones is important. Second, stop focusing exclusively on bone density. While it's one piece of information, it doesn't tell the whole story about your bone quality or, more importantly, your actual risk of fracture. Shift your primary focus towards fracture prevention. Third, since most fractures happen after a fall, put significant energy into fall prevention strategies. This includes making your home environment safer. Grab that free fall prevention checklist linked below, and crucially, building lower body strength, especially that eccentric strength we talked about, to help you recover from trips and control your movements. Remember, those slow chair squats can work wonders. And finally, don't forget the power of muscle. Build and maintain your muscle, not only to improve your strength and balance, but also to act as that protective bulletproof vest for your bones, cushioning impacts if a fall does occur. When you focus on these controllable actions, optimizing your environment, building functional strength, and developing protective muscle, you are actively and effectively reducing your risk of fracture now, regardless of what your next DEXA scan might say. So you've stuck with me. You absorbed these ideas, and hopefully you're feeling a little more empowered and a little less anxious about that diagnosis. You now know that success isn't just one number, and you have concrete actions you can take today to protect yourself. But knowledge without action doesn't change anything, right? So before I let you go, I have some specific homework for you. These aren't difficult tasks. They may even be a bit repetitive, but they are powerful first steps. Number one, already mentioned it a couple times, download the free fall prevention checklist. Click the very first link in the description below this video. Take 15 minutes today or tomorrow, walk through your home with it, and identify potential hazards. Knowledge is power here. Number two, eradicate at least one fall risk. Don't just identify them, take action. Pick one thing from your checklist walkthrough. Maybe it's securing a loose rug edge, improving lighting on the stairs, or clearing some clutter. And just fix it. Do it today. Turn awareness into immediate action. And number three, do 10 super slow chair squats right now or as soon as you finish watching this video. Stand up and sit back down slowly, controlling it all the way. Feel those thigh muscles engage. Good. Know that with each careful repetition, you are actively training your body to be more stable and reducing your risk of falls and fractures. Taking these small, concrete steps shifts you from being a passive recipient of a diagnosis to an active participant in your own health and safety journey. You can influence your future. You can live a strong, active, independent life, and it starts with these simple actions today. Don't let fear paralyze you. Let this information empower you. Focus on the process. Celebrate every win, big or small, and know that by taking consistent, informed action, you are doing everything you can to build not just stronger bones, but a stronger, more resilient you. You've got this. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you know when new videos drop. I'm Dr. Hinish. I will see you soon.